2018 Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport Review. The good points of Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport: low prices and running costs. Lots of tech as standard. A fine, relaxed, motorway cruiser. Excellent ride quality on standard wheels. The bad points of Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport: unadventurous styling, smaller boot than before. Good drive in automobile, but no a lot better than the opposition. No hybrids yet. Showcasing sharper, edgier styling will be the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport, a swanky new reputable name replacing the company's large hatchback range. This time around there'll be no traditional four-door saloon, but this chiseled fresh look will also appear later in 2017 around the replacement with the Vauxhall Insignia Sports Tourer Estate, along with the new Insignia Country Tourer, complete using a raised ride height and SUV-inspired styling. As before, the most recent Insignia will compete head-on, having its longtime foe the Ford Mondeo, and also the Skoda Superb, Mazda 6 and Volkswagen Passat, whilst the latter two aren't obtainable in hatchback form. All new from your ground up. Vauxhall claims the revised architecture liberates more cabin space for passengers, and also this is felt most obviously within the rear. However, the company's own statistics state that boot space has shrunk slightly because of this, down 40 liters to your 490-liter capacity. However, it's better shaped versus the old car. The interior feels airy, while those small side windows aft from the rear doors are actually dummy panels masking rather thick pillars. The Insignia Grand Sport's nose is dominated by a whole new interpretation with the Vauxhall grille, while high-end models feature the brand's LED matrix headlamps, featuring 32 lighting elements in contrast to the Astra's 16. Not only are they brighter, but they are even more precise within the way they turn off sections of light to prevent dazzling oncoming drivers. Despite the bodywork creases and chamfered corners, it cleaves mid-air with impressive ease. Vauxhall quotes a drag coefficient of 0.26, much like the 1989 Calibra, that will yield fuel efficiency and low CO2 emissions benefits. The new car is additionally up to 175 kilograms lighter, modern model as opposed to outgoing Insignia. Engine lineup largely carried over. There are 6 engines in whole, including 3 petrol and 3 diesels. All of them are turbocharged. Simply the 1.5-liter petrol is a fresh unit, the remaining are carried over in the previous Insignia. This means mechanicals in this car are largely proven, and revisions show that economy and CO2 emissions are improved above the old Insignia too. Vauxhall reckons the 1.5-liter petrol and 1.6-liter diesels will sell the most beneficial, higher 2 power outputs for each and every unit to help you tailor your Insignia on your exact needs. Enhanced onboard technology. Unsurprisingly, the most recent Insignia includes a raft of electronic aids to generate the driving experience safer. Expect adaptive cruise control, lane departure assist, rear cross-traffic alert, plus a head-up display HUD to get optionally available where they're not standard features. Angled on the driver, the asterisk dashboard is dominated by a big multimedia touchscreen in an effort to reduce the button count, although steering wheel remains likely for being laden with switchgear. Smartphone integration is produced easy with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, that is standard on all models, as the TechFest continues with Vauxhall's Onstar virtual concierge service as well as an onboard Wi-Fi hotspot for around 7 devices, likely for being standard throughout the bulk with the range. High-performance Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport GS announced in July 2017. The GS badge returns to Vauxhall's bootlegs in 2017, set for being officially unveiled with the Frankfurt Motor Show in September about the Insignia Grand Sport. And this really is far more than only a body kit. It's a dedicated performance model, which has a 260 horsepower turbocharged petrol engine, an 8-speed automatic gearbox and all-wheel drive. Vauxhall's FlexRide adaptive suspension features, together with some large Brembo brakes for serious stopping power and full leather sports seats to hold you planted. We're promised performance that'll eclipse the prior Insignia VXR thanks with a 160 kg fat reduction compared on the normal Grand Sport. Its handling is honed for the famous Nürburgring test track in Germany. The verdict. A good, solid verdict for any good solid car. The Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport is decent to push, excellent on long journeys, is well made, and has now a nice, usable interior that appears like it will withstand numerous years of hard use with virtually no troubles. So, why write score better? The Insignia Grand Sport is really a typical modern Vauxhall. It's very effective in what it does, but short of that last dose of desirability, sexiness, that you're going to find in non-premium rivals, including the Volkswagen Passat and Skoda Superb. We could happily recommend it as a year one and simply car purchase, but advise that some of its rivals could leave you feeling better within the long run. Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport review. If this type of hatchback deserves your attention. Power ranges from 110 horsepower to 260 horsepower. New 1.5-liter petrol, plus carried over diesels. 6 turbocharged choices overall. There are 6 engines from which to choose, 3 petrol and 3 diesels, all of these are turbocharged. Only the 1.5-liter petrol is a different unit. The remainder are carried over on the previous Insignia. Petrol engines. First up would be the 1.5-liter turbo, expected to get one in the big sellers within the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport lineup, with 2 different power outputs, 140 horsepower and 165 horsepower. Top in the petrol range is usually a 2.0-liter. 260 horsepower unit that has a muscular 400 Nm of torque, which comes exclusively by having an 8-speed automatic transmission and torque vectoring all-wheel drive system, which we'll explain further within the handling section. Diesel engines. Expected to are the reason for the majority of sales here will be the 1.6-liter Turbo D with either 110 horsepower or 136 horsepower. While the 110 horsepower unit offers the most effective fuel economy and CO2 emissions, it doesn't look particularly inspiring regarding performance. We've driven the top-of-the-line diesel a 2.0-liter unit with 170 horsepower carried over from your last car, and were stunned at its punchy mid-range performance. There's a little bit of a delay at low revs and little value in stretching it beyond 4,500 revolutions per minute, and that means you need to work the gearbox and keep the engine on this fairly narrow operating range. Matched with a 6-speed manual, we found all third gear was necessary to accelerate quickly to motorway speed. Still, it accelerates smoothly and is also nice and quiet using a cruise. Gearboxes. There's an alternative here from a 6-speed manual with an 8-speed automatic. The former is standard with a lot of engines, plus the latter is undoubtedly an option on nearly the 260 horsepower petrol, where it's standard. We've not driven the motorcar box but found the manual to become easy to use, which has a light and springy action that slots positively into each gear. Adequate as opposed to inspiring handling. Lots of grip and planted, safe feel. Torque vectoring and flex ride options. This is certainly one area in which the old Insignia fell behind its rivals slightly, as well as the new car has embroiled, but doesn't exactly move the sport on. And despite the fact that the Mazda 6 and Ford Mondeo continue to be better to push, the Insignia Grand Sport's handling is a bit more than approximately the job. It's only not particularly entertaining. The steering is pretty light and doesn't offer much from the way of feedback. Even so, the car feels planted around the whole, has a lot of grip through the front and rear wheels. Bearing plan the size in the car and also the quality on the ride, body control is impressive. You can induce quite an amount of lean in a fast corner, nevertheless it doesn't lurch around or dive badly under braking. Torque vectoring, all-wheel drive and flex ride. Pick a motor vehicle with all-wheel drive and torque vectoring and Vauxhall reckons the Insignia will handle much more precisely. That says it can send capacity to the wheel that requires it most, reacting quickly to changing surfaces and scenarios. We've yet to sample this product, and the adjustable flex ride suspension, the second, offering an even more comfortable or sporty ride determined by what sort of driving you're doing. Much cleaner and decluttered. Check out the dashboard. Some important functions retain an actual button. Lots of driving position adjustment, even for tall drivers. The dashboard within the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport has undergone an all-inclusive decluttering now, although there remain proper switches for essential things like the environment conditioning and stereo. This car retains its button-fast tire, which around the one hand is fairly useful but around the other is usually a bit of the headache to navigate to begin with. While around the whole the lining is much greater than before, when it comes to material quality nevertheless doesn't quite feel as well as its premium rivals, and the more mainstream Volkswagen Passat and Skoda Superb, because both versions are nicer to think about and use. That said, the Insignia's cabin looks far more upmarket now, notably if you opt to the larger digital display when driving. The rev counter and fuel gauge are physical instruments, however the speedometer is usually a customizable graphic version with a substantial numerical display. It's also easy to gain access to a comfortable driving position thanks for the highly adjustable seat and tire. Despite the width from the cabin, the armrests are appreciably close towards the driver. Longer wheelbase improves ride comfort. Even 20-inch wheels give a good ride. Noise levels within the car markedly improved. Thanks with a longer wheelbase versus the previous car, the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport boasts better ride comfort than before, even within the large 20-inch wheels individual's test car. We reckon the 18-inch option are going to be seriously smooth, as well as a bit quieter around the move. The front seats are large and cost-setting and may be set small down, an excellent option for tall drivers, and in addition improving rear passenger vision, making the cabin feel large and airy wherever you're sat. Heating can be acquired for not only the front seats but also the two rears, plus the controls can be warmed that can help combat cold hands from the winter. Engine noise on the 2.0-liter diesel no less than is admirably hushed, while it gets a touch vocal with the top from the rev range. There's a little wind rustle within the motorway, but for the whole the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport is really a quiet and relaxing location to spend a lengthy journey. Basic, sporty and luxury trims available. Decent standard spec and generous top tier. Helpful driving assistance, optional extras too. The Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport's trim levels will probably be familiar to owners on the previous generation or in other cars out of this manufacturer. You'll find 7 in whole, including a number of optional sedan of grades. Standard Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport equipment. Kicking things off could be the design trim, which comes with 17-inch alloy look wheels, automatic lights, electric windows front and back, keyless entry you need to plus electrically adjustable and heated door mirrors. Gadgets-wise you have air conditioning, cruise control with speed limiter, and also the IntelliLink 7.0-inch touchscreen speakers, DAB digital radio, Bluetooth connectivity, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Next up is Design Nav, which because you can have guessed, simply adds the 8.0-inch Navi 900 IntelliLink SatNav system with European mapping. There are 3 sporty trims next. The foremost is called SRI and adds the following for the basic spec: 17-inch alloy wheels, front fog lights, dark tinted rear windows, rear spoiler and rain-sensitive windscreen wipers. If you want a much more performance-focused look, pick SRI Nav, which adds the SatNav system mentioned earlier, front sports seats and pedals, dual-zone electronic climate control, ambient LED lighting, twin rear USB sockets as well as an auto-dimming rear view mirror. Finally there's SRI VX Line Nav, which adds larger alloy wheels, 17s for the 1.6-liter diesel and 18s for everything, along with the full-fat VXR styling pack, back and front bumpers, side sills, visible exhaust tailpipe. Inside there's a heated flat-bottom tire, dark fabric headlining as well as a larger 4.2-inch color information display between dials. Next you can find 2 more luxury-focused trims according to Design Cars, and also the first is known as Techline Nav, that has historically proved well liked by company car drivers. It adds 17-inch alloy wheels and chrome effect door handles on the outside, plus twin rear USB sockets, an auto-dimming rear view mirror, and 4.2-inch color information display towards the inside. You get driver's seat tilt and lumbar adjustment and front passenger seat height adjustment, and handy tech, for example the 8-inch SatNav, dual-zone electronic climate control, rain-sensitive windscreen wipers and front and back parking sensors. Top on the tree is Elite Nav, which builds on Techline by building larger alloy wheels, 17s for the 1.6-liter diesel, 20s within the 2.0-liter petrol and 18s for any devices, LED matrix headlights, front fog lights and dark tinted rear windows for the outside. Inside the Auto you get leather seat facings, heated front and outer rear seats with an 8.0-inch color information display. 2.0-liter petrol models get a Bose premium speakers. Pick a 4x4 car and you'll go for torque vectoring, which we've explained within the handling section. XI Performance Variant. Announced in late 2017, the XI currently is the sportiest variant on the Insignia Grand Sport range. Additional equipment within the standard model carries a high-tech 4-wheel drive system, switchable drive modes with FlexRide adaptive suspension, Brembo performance brakes and 18-inch alloy wheels. The sporty addenda continues about the inside, which has a flat-bottom leather tire, aluminum pedals and black headlining. Onstar. Standard on all Insignias is Vauxhall's Onstar Concierge service. Connected for the internet via the vehicle's antenna, it can be used to contact the emergency services inside the result of your crash, as well as to ask an Onstar representative to deliver directions to your destination in your SatNav. It also gives a Wi-Fi hotspot for approximately 7 devices. Debuting from the Insignia are 2 new functions called Onstar Personal Assistant. The device can now recommend and book an accommodation for you, and as well send directions with the parking space to your SatNav. Optional Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport accessories. There are individually and bundled packs of optional extras to the Insignia, starting with the FlexRide adaptive suspension system, which offers an even more comfortable or sporty ride, along with a driving assistance pack with adaptive cruise control. Helping you retain your eyes for the road is often a head-up display system, as well as a Bose premium stereo will also be specified. IntelliLux LED matrix headlights are impressive but pricey for the time of launch. 5-star rating in Euro NCAP crash test. Front camera means emergency braking and lane assist. Onstar system can contact the emergency services. As standard, the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport supplies a good assortment of safety equipment, including electronic stability program, ABS brakes, 6 airbags, ISOFIX mounting points on all 3 rear seats, and also a tire pressure monitoring system. Boosting this offering will be the OnStar system, that may contact the emergency services for you personally automatically after an accident, along with a front camera system that contributes lane keep assist, following distance indicator, forward collision alert, low-speed collision mitigation braking, and active emergency braking. Optional upgrades add the IntelliLux LED headlight system, that ought to make it easier to see and stay seen, a head-up display, and adaptive cruise control with active lane keep assist. You also can pick rear cross-traffic alert and advanced parking system for making reversing maneuvers easier and safer. When the Insignia Grand Sport was crash-tested from the experts at Euro NCAP in 2017, it achieved a full 5-star rating, with both pedestrian protecting pop-up bonnet along with the automatic emergency braking mechanism being highlighted as particularly effective. There's lots of room wherever you sit inside the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport, plus the cabin feels particularly capacious inside the front. Those inside the back are catered for with regards to legroom. Even behind a tall driver there is a lot of space to fully stretch into. This car also offers more headroom than its predecessor, but that regarding above average height will still find their hair brushing the headliner. The rear seats think that they are set high up in comparison while using cat's-eye scraping front chairs, and that means you get a fantastic view out when sat within the back. There are decent side pockets all over, plus 3 cubbies inside the center console and also a pair of cup holders within the front and back. The Insignia Grand Sport can be a large car, and also the trim structure unfortunately means lower spec cars don't have even rear parking sensors, so think that into your buying decision. Vauxhall currently doesn't produce an automatic parking system for that Insignia. Open the boot, a job made harder with the lack of an actual handle around the outside from the tailgate, and you'll reveal a substantial and practical boot. It's wide and long, that has a square shape that may fit nearly 490 liters of luggage inside. Insignia fans will note those dimension is 40 liters down about the last car, and positively the new Grand Sport's boot looks relatively shallow. Fold the back seats flat and you'll unlock 1,450 liters, though. There's a flex organizer pack offering side rails, dividing nets and fastening solutions that can help keep all of the items from the boot tied down neatly.